Even the darkest streets of the Bronx could hear the crowd's roar rising from that basement on the night of October 9th, 1977. Just a few kilometers from Manhattan's bright lights, beneath a crumbling warehouse building, an illegal world was turning. From the outside, the 3-story brick building looked abandoned. Broken windows, rusted iron doors, names spray-painted across the walls. But inside, 5 meters underground, hundreds of men gathered every night, put their money on the table, and waited for someone's blood. Muhammad Ali was in the Bronx that night, but for a different reason. He had attended a graduation party for an old friend's son and had stopped at a street corner on the way back. As his driver pulled to the curb, Ali looked out the window. A man, gasping for breath, carrying a large bag, turned into the narrow alley beside the warehouse building. Then another, then a group. Something inside Ali sent a warning. That instinct, the ability to sense danger he had developed over years in the ring. "Wait here," he told his driver. He opened the door and slowly stepped out. Walking along the side of the building, sounds from the basement struck his ears. The enthusiastic roar of a crowd, heels striking concrete floors, and beneath all of it, the sound of 2 people hitting each other in a ring. Ali had heard that sound thousands of times. He could recognize it with his eyes closed. But this sound was different, because within it, there was the shrill cry of a voice that was crying. It was a child. A small child. When he descended a narrow staircase, the scene that greeted him froze him in place. The basement was like another world. Approximately 200 men, packed tightly together, stared at the small ring in the center. Smoke, sweat, and the smell of money hung in the air. In the corners, men in suits shouted and changed betting odds with papers in their hands. Security guards, thick-necked, hard-faced men, stood at attention before the walls. And in the ring, against a man 25 kilograms heavier and at least 5 years older, a 16-year-old boy was fighting. Miguel Herrera. Ali didn't know that name yet, but he recognized what he saw. In the face of a young, slim, Latin-origin boy, there was hunger. Not just physical hunger, the hunger to prove something, the hunger to survive. The boy was slowing down. His opponent was cornering him with every punch, but Miguel wasn't falling. Falling meant not getting paid, and not getting paid meant his mother wouldn't get her surgery. Ali moved through the crowd. Nobody recognized him, or if they did, nobody cared. This was a place where famous names weren't safe, but Ali moved forward, because with every punch the boy in the ring took, something inside Ali was breaking. When he reached the ring's edge, the cornerman turned to him with a hard expression. "What's your business here?" he said in a low voice. Ali didn't answer, just looked at the ring. Miguel, at that moment, took a hard right hook to the face from his opponent. His head snapped sideways. His legs trembled. "Stop!" Ali shouted. His voice was so powerful and authoritative that part of the crowd turned their heads. The man beside the ring turned to Ali, a dangerous expression on his face. But then he saw Ali's face and froze. Whispers began spreading through the crowd. "Muhammad Ali. Isn't that Muhammad Ali? What's he doing here?" The man sitting at the table beyond the corner slowly stood up. Victor Salazar, one of the Bronx's most feared names. In his 50s, cold intelligence gleaming in his eyes, someone who chose every word carefully. 2 bodyguards stood beside him, the bulge under their jacket lapels revealing what they carried. Salazar walked toward Ali with a thin smile on his lips. Muhammad Ali. What a big surprise. His voice was polite, but there was steel underneath. "But this place isn't for people like you." Ali looked at Salazar, then turned back to the ring. Miguel took one last combination before the referee called a break. His lip was split, the area under his eye beginning to swell. "How old is that boy?" Ali asked. Salazar shrugged. "A businessman. He chose this." "A 16-year-old boy," Ali said, his voice calm but every word sharp as a knife, "is not a businessman. What's he doing here?" The crowd had gone completely silent. 200 men stared at the space between Muhammad Ali and Victor Salazar. The bodyguards had tensed. Salazar's smile hadn't changed, but his eyes had gone cold. "This isn't your business, champion," Salazar said in a low voice. "Get in your car. Go. Forget what you saw today. Do yourself a favor." Ali didn't move. "Take that boy out of the ring." Salazar's smile disappeared. "Who do you think you—" "I'm Muhammad Ali," Ali said, his voice now filling the entire room. "And there's a child in that ring. If you don't take him out, everything that happens here tonight will be in every newspaper, every television broadcast tomorrow morning, including police channels." Salazar took one step forward. The bodyguards moved too. The room was so silent, the sound of water passing through the basement's pipes could be heard. Then something unexpected happened. Someone from the crowd, an older man, stepped forward. "Let the kid go." Another. "Ali's right." Then another. The voices began to merge, because half the crowd, even if they didn't know who that boy was, knew who Muhammad Ali was. Salazar waited a long time, making calculations, then gave a slight nod. The round ended anyway, he said in a cold voice. The boy can go. Ali immediately entered the ring. Miguel sat on the corner stool, trying to regulate his breathing. His face was covered in blood. His eyes were frightened, tired, and old. Ali crouched beside him. "What's your name?" Ali asked quietly. The boy raised his head, and when he saw Muhammad Ali, his eyes widened. Perhaps for the first time in his life, he was truly shocked. "Miguel," he whispered. "Miguel Herrera. Why did you come here, Miguel?" The boy's eyes filled, but he didn't cry. He had long since forgotten how to cry. "My mother is sick, brain tumor, needs surgery money. I earn it fighting, $400 a week." Ali lowered his head. For a moment he closed his eyes. Brain tumor, $400, 16 years old. "How many months have you been fighting here?" 7 months. Ali stood up, extended his hand to Miguel. "Let's go." "Where?" "Outside. Fresh air. Then we'll talk." Miguel hesitated. "But my money, we'll handle it together." When they stepped outside, New York's cold October air hit their faces. Ali called his driver, told him to bring the car. Miguel sat on the curb, hugged his knees. Whether he was trembling from exhaustion or cold wasn't clear. Ali sat beside him. On the curb, Muhammad Ali, 3-time heavyweight champion of the world's most recognized athlete, sat on a curb in the Bronx district of New York in the middle of the night, next to a 16-year-old boy. "Tell me," said Ali. "Everything," Miguel told him. His father had died in a work accident 2 years ago. His mother Maria had been trying to raise 2 children alone. Then the headaches started. Doctors said, brain tumor, 60% chance with surgery, but the surgery cost $12,000. No insurance, no savings. Miguel had dropped out of school, had started earning money in street fights. Then someone had taken him to Salazar's club. He had been fighting every week for 7 months. His total earnings were approximately $2,800. He was still very far from the goal. Ali listened, never asked questions, just listened. When Miguel finished, there was a long silence. "Do you know boxing?" Ali finally asked. Miguel shrugged. "Learned on the streets. Not proper. Are you talented?" "People say so." Ali turned to his driver. "Is there a notebook and pen in the car?" The driver provided them. Ali wrote something, folded it, and extended it to Miguel. "This is a name and phone number. Call this man tomorrow morning. He's someone my trainer Angelo Dundee knows. The best boxing club in New York. Tell him Ali says you're expected." Miguel looked at the paper. "Why are you doing this?" "Because you reminded me of my youth. I was young too, in Louisville, when there was no money. I thought boxing was the only way out." Ali paused. "The difference is, I was lucky. Someone saw my talent and invested. You have talent too, Miguel. But you're fighting in the dark. I'm going to bring you into the light." Then Ali reached into his pocket and pulled out his checkbook. He wrote exactly double the amount needed for Miguel's mother's surgery. When he extended it to Miguel, the boy didn't even look at it. "Can't take it," Miguel said. "Not my money." Ali smiled. "Right. This isn't a gift. This is an investment. You'll take this money. Your mother will have surgery. Then you'll train, learn proper boxing, and one day, when you turn professional, you'll pay this money back to me. Deal?" Tears flowed from Miguel's eyes. This time, he couldn't stop them. "Why do you trust me? You don't even know me." "I know you," Ali said quietly, "because you're the man who fights despite his fear. Every time you entered that ring, you went in not just for money, but for your mother. You fought for love. And in this world, the man who fights for love is never completely on the wrong path." 3 days later, Maria Herrera went into surgery. The operation lasted 6 hours. The doctors succeeded. The tumor was completely removed. The day Miguel first went to the training gym, he waited at the door with Ali's note in his hand. When the trainer saw him, he said simply, "Ali called. I was expecting you." The next 2 years, Miguel Herrera worked for the first time in his life with real discipline, with a real trainer in the light. The hunger was still there, but now that hunger was pushing him not toward darkness, but forward. In 1980, at 19 years old, he entered his first professional fight. He won. Then another, then another. In 1986, Miguel Herrera won the WBC Super Lightweight Championship. In his first interview after the championship fight, a reporter asked, "Who helped you most on your road to championship?" Miguel looked at the camera. "Muhammad Ali," he said. "One night in a dark basement in the Bronx, he found me. I was just a kid, on the wrong path, fighting for the wrong reasons. He came and showed me that you can throw the same punches for the right reasons. Fighting for my mother was beautiful, but fighting for myself, for my dreams, was even more beautiful." Ali watched that interview. Angelo Dundee was beside him. Angelo asked, "Champ, did you know that kid would be this good?" Ali smiled. "Did I see his talent?" "Yes, but talent wasn't the main thing. The main thing was the light inside that boy. Even at the very bottom of darkness, it hadn't gone out. I just saw that light and extended a match." Victor Salazar's basement was shut down in a police raid in 1979. Salazar received a prison sentence. But Ali hadn't reported Salazar that night, because he had understood that to save one child, there was no need to bring down the whole system. Just getting that child out of that night was enough. The rest would change on its own. Miguel Herrera today runs a boxing club in the Bronx, New York. Its name, Ali's Light. Every year, he works with hundreds of young people in financial impossibility. He teaches them boxing, but he teaches them more, how to channel their hunger in the right direction, how to look for light in the dark, and most importantly, that fighting for the people you love is the strongest motivation of all. On the wall hangs a large photograph. That night, on that narrow street in the Bronx, two men sitting side by side on the curb. One, a world-famous champion. The other, a 16-year-old boy, face covered in blood, eyes tired. Beneath it, a single line: "Real heroes don't emerge where crowds applaud. They emerge in dark corners." Muhammad Ali.